Hi everybody, this is Director Jessica Gilfill, and again I'm going to be taking you through a walkthrough tour of our 1st through 3rd grade lower elementary Montessori classroom. So here is our student cubby area where they have their notebooks for each subject matter in varying states. It's definitely well used. This shelf is our music shelf. One cool thing about this year is that our lead teacher, Teacher Isabel, is a trained musician through the University of Redlands. And so we're incorporating music study into the classroom in ways that we haven't before. So we're incorporating music theory, learning how to dabble in reading music, as well as the history of music from this shelf. This is our botany area, and so similar to the kindergarten classroom, we like to use live plant specimens to blend with our botany learning. We've also got our botany leaf cabinet. We've got lots of nomenclature cards, parts of a plant, parts of a tree, parts of a flower, trees of the varying continents. Of course, every continent except for Antarctica is included there. And then different ways to branch off and study there. Here's our art area. The students incorporate art into every single day in their cosmic education. They use art to approach many of the other subjects on the shelf, but this is our one-stop shop for all of our supplies in order to have that art exploration. In terms of practical life, continuing off what we were talking about in the kindergarten classroom, we count the ability to prepare our own food, wash our own dishes, etc. in our practical life in the elementary classrooms. And so here is where students can clean off their dishes after they're done with them and learn how to microwave their food. Come on and we'll see some more shelves over here. So this is our language area in the 1st through 3rd classroom. We have our word wall. We have all of the materials necessary to our sandpaper letters, our double sandpaper letters, our movable alphabet. And so here is where, some of the 1st graders might be landing as they come into the classroom. And then we've got some traditional Montessori materials of the pink, blue, and green words. And then we also have our Washika reading program, which, as we mentioned in the kindergarten classroom, we are incorporating the Washika reading program into the primary, the kindergarten, and the 1st through 3rd classroom, just for continuity. But the students in this classroom might have assignments that are a little bit more advanced with regard to the Washika reading program, so they might be taking the words in a certain drawer, like grade 3, and then writing sentences building off of those words. In addition to the word wall up here, every student has a grade-specific portable word wall in their cubby that they add words to if they're not sure about them. We've also been doing a lot of cursive study this year, and so many of the students are choosing to explore cursive penmanship and completing assignments in other subjects in cursive as well. Here is our, pretty traditional grammar box set up. So we are exploring grammar with the students in the 1st through 3rd classroom through the use of the grammar symbols, through the use of the grammar fill boxes, as anybody on your committee that is a Montessorian might be familiar with. So over here, these 2 shelves are the beginnings of our science shelves, our science area. Over here, we have some more of the Washika biome products that link nicely to the reading study. So, if a student is able to read yellow box 7, then they should have no problem reading any of the nature-specific yellow boxes, and so on and so forth. It's color aligned pretty naturally. And we've also got study of moon phases, the names of the planets, identification of planets, cloud study, star study, and then just quite a few science-specific books are stored over here as well. Also, our Washika Seasons mat that we use for birthdays is hanging around this area too. On this science shelf, we're looking at the vertebrate classification puzzles using some atlases and things to study world oceans, to study the animals that you might find on different continents, to study vertebrate and invertebrate, and to study, like I said, more specifics about what makes the 5 vertebrate classifications and learning more information about them. So this is our word study. So if you are not familiar, we call these like the grammar skyscrapers. In here, which is, we have this copy of this word study in the lower elementary classroom and also in our upper elementary 4th through 6th classroom, just to try to keep continuity between the 2 rooms. We're looking at subjects like compound words, prefixes, suffixes, capitalization, many things like that are here in the grammar skyscrapers. This is our Spanish shelf. We're also expanding it to be more of like a general foreign language area, but we have many of the Montessori materials like parts of a tree or days of the week or cloud study in a Spanish translation here. And so we have a lot of nomenclature cards and a small library of books in all Spanish. So that's pretty cool. Here is our bead cabinet. We've streamlined it in this room as well, but of course we can use the bead cabinet to study skip counting, to study multiplication, and to get into familiarity with the multiples of numbers. We've got our geometry section here. And so we have our geometry cabinet that we use to learn about all of the simple shapes, all the quadrilaterals, all the different types of triangle classifications and everything like that here. Moving on, this whole area, these 3 shelves all relate to mathematics. And so this shelf, we've got some more counting familiarity. We've got some control charts for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Here, you're also going to see that addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division on our math shelf. And so in this way, there's lots of prepared equations that the students can then put into their mathematics notebook. These 2 shelves relate to our history and our geography. And then, of course, we also have our geography cabinet here. And so on these shelves, we are starting off with familiarity with days of the week, months of the year, time, where we are in history. We've got quite a few large history timelines to deal with general history of the world, timeline of early humans, U.S. history timeline, many manipulatives that can keep the inquisitiveness of history going. And then in regard to geography, we have our landforms, our geography cabinet, our sandpaper and colored painted globes, and flags of the world study. The students, as they get into the older age groups, are going to be using many of the rich resources like atlases and 50 states books and things like that to continue their exploration. One thing that this classroom has just finished is they have, as a class collective, made little 50 state information cards of all 50 states, and we're very proud of themselves for just finishing that project. Here is our library area. It's well loved at the moment. We have books that range in simplicity. One thing that I try to do in this classroom and all the classrooms is just have a very multicultural library that has a lot of books on inclusivity and on people from different cultures of the world. And so we've got quite a large amount of books here for the children to explore. We got an aftercare section, and this is kind of like a small teacher space, which, as all of you as educators know, is the last thing to get organized. And so that is our lower elementary 1st through 3rd classroom. Let me know if you have any questions about it.